There's a heaven in this hell that I'm chasing.
I think we'll stop right there. But yeah, man, there's a heaven in this hell that I'm chasing. He keeps going back to that.
Yeah,
and it's like this facade that, man, sin is enticing.
Then you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free.
Do you believe in life after addiction? You better believe it. Now, the host of Life After Addiction.
We're back.
We're back, baby. Welcome back to another episode of Life After Addiction.
We're back in the saddle again. That was good, right?
Yeah,
No.
was good.
No. What's
That was
this?
good.
Was that not? We might get flagged for copyrights
Yeah.
because it was so. Okay, all right. Hey, welcome back. We have an awesome show today. We are going to react to a song by a man named
Warren Zeiders.
Big Warren. He has
Big
an album
W.
coming out to the Dubs.
Big Dubs.
He's got an album coming out today. He has a song on the album called Addictions. Chitty and I, you haven't heard it, right?
I have
We
not
have
heard
never
it.
heard it. Carlos, our amazing guy, studio producer, he said that we should react to this one. So, but first, before we do that, there's a little bit of change in the weather.
You see it, baby?
It's starting to become a little cooler as we enter into September and October. We need to check out these hoodies. We only have a limited amount left in the olive hoodie, all sizes, I believe, but not a lot in each size. And then we have another hoodie, and this guy named Travis, he's wanting to learn about being on camera more. You've probably seen him on Wednesdays, and if you watch Catapult, Travis has got the gray and blue hoodie. Congratulations, man. This gentleman got engaged to be married this last Thursday at Catapult. If you haven't seen it, it's on this channel. Go scroll all the way to the end. The message, the pastor wasn't that great, but if you go to the very end, you'll see Travis propose to his fiance. It was such a special night,
man.
amazing
Super
night.
cool.
Congratulations, brother. We're proud for you. But the only mediums and smalls of this hoodie. All sizes, but not a lot left. Medium and smalls. Thank you, Travis.
Softest, best merch in the game.
How does it feel to be on camera? Yeah, okay. He doesn't know.
He's also going to be on the newest episode of Alabama's Next Top Model. I don't know if you've heard of the show. You can catch it on MTV.
That's messed
but
up,
Alabama's Next Top Model,
That's
yours
messed
truly. You can catch him there. PT, Pastor Travis, baby.
Thank you, Pastor Travis. Joking. Obviously, he's comfortable in front of camera. You see him preaching and teaching all the time. And he's got Wednesday Word of Encouragement on this very channel. Man, I don't know the exact yet, but we will have a fresh hoodie launch at some point. We got to get all these out the door. I think let's see, we've had black on black, we've had the blue on gray, we have had the white on olive,
We've had gray on black.
we've had gray on black, no, black on gray.
black on gray.
I think the olive's my favorite.
I would say olive, but I like the one he has on
I did
too.
too.
It just depends.
The black on black was cool too, but over time you couldn't see
yeah,
the
you
logo.
couldn't see anything.
So
But
just
it's a good
black sweater.
conversation starter. Like, what is that?
What
It's
is
like, well,
that?
let me tell you what it is.
So I think this next one will be nice, but make sure you get your olive hoodie. Pastor Travis, thank you, sir. All right, tell us what you know about Big W here.
Big W, I
don't
know
know.
that he has a song called Addictions that we are about to do, what do you call these things? Do a reaction on. I know he has an album coming out today. What's the name of his album? Do you know? Relapse.
Relapse
The
is
name of the album is called Relapse. I really don't know much about him personally or this song. Carlos, our outstanding producer, just said that this would be a good reaction for us to do.
Yeah, so we are learning about him for the first time, so we're obviously, we know nothing about him, but we heard this song is a good one to react to, so let's dive in. Ooh, okay. Little steel guitar there. Oh, you don't know nothing about that. That Houston.
I don't.
You don't know nothing about that, honey.
How you been, my old friend? Guess you wouldn't be surprised to find I'm high again. It's been tough living without you, but it gets easier when that buzz starts kicking in. There's a heaven.
All right, stop. So obviously, I can relate to that, right? I mean, how you doing, old friend? Probably not surprised. I'm high again. Just the same old screw up, right? And then he says, he's basically dealing, I'm assuming he's talking about potentially a female or a friend or something, but whatever it is, he's dealing with that pain because he's saying that, man, it gets easier to deal with when that buzz kicks in. So
Yeah.
definitely can relate to that. Man, if you're watching, you've gone through an addiction, you understand that. Sucks, man. Sucks.
Yeah. Just
My old friend, you feel like a failure. You're dealing with all your problems by a buzz that only creates more problems. So I can relate to that.
which you know going in. You just numb everything and
Yep.
knowing that it's going to get worse, but you feel like there's no way out. So you just continue to do the same old thing.
There's a heaven in this hell that I'm chasing, like a coyote hailing lonesome at the moon. There's a truth in all that pain I ain't facing.
That I ain't
Guess
facing.
that's
Yeah.
why I do the things I do. I'm choosing my
that right there.
addictions over
I
you.
guess there's a truth in the pain that I ain't facing.
Yeah.
I guess that's why I do what I do. So true, man. Instead of like processing our emotions and our situations and our trials and our adversities in a healthy manner and walking through them, we just suppress and run from everything. Suppress and run from everything, knowing that it's only going to get worse. It's crazy, right? I tell families all the time, like, trying to make sense of addiction, you can't rationalize the irrational. It's a bunch of irrational things that we choose to do inside of addiction. You can't rationalize those, but it's a life lived just of lies and suppressing the truth and knowing you're suppressing the truth, but then sometimes getting so far gone that you even believe the lies.
Yeah. I'm trying to process that. There's a heaven in this hell that I'm chasing. Seems pretty simplistic, but man, I bet there's a sermon or that could go
it's
kind of
deep.
deep. That can go kind of deep. There's a heaven in this hell that I'm chasing. All right, back it up about 5 seconds and let it play again.
Guess that's why I do the things I do. I'm choosing my addictions
Has a good sound.
over
It's got a smooth sound.
Sun comes up,
Yeah.
Huh.
I come down, crashing into pieces when I hit the ground. Your memory just feeds my misery. I start reaching for that easy.
All right, stop it again. Yeah. I'm choosing my addictions over you. But I think you nailed it, man. I think a big thing that I want to tell the people watching, if you're struggling or have struggled, the big thing about him ending that with choosing my addictions over you, it started with truth. He's not facing truth. And when there's no truth, there's no light, and there's darkness. And so you end up becoming someone you never thought you would. You went further than you ever thought you would go and did things you never thought you would. You chose your addiction over the people that you loved, that loved you more than anyone else in the world, that you love more than anyone else in the world. And you're choosing this numbing, this buzz, because you're failing to acknowledge the truth. And so the absence of truth is just darkness, man, and decay and misery and death. Jesus says, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man comes to the Father except through me. And he is truth, man. And so absent of Jesus, absent of truth, man, there's no life. And so you are in this cycle. You want to avoid truth because you're comfortable in darkness. I call it a pit. I've heard it say that, man, stop decorating the pit. It's not your home. You're in this dark hole hanging up wallpaper and pictures because you've now made it home. And you end up choosing addiction over people, over truth.
Yeah. No, it's a good word. And it's like the Bible says, our battles are not against flesh and blood, but of spiritual forces of evil in heavenly places,
Yeah.
or of spiritual principalities is what our battles are really over. And he says, I'm choosing my addiction over you. I tell the guys all the time that addiction is a spiritual battle. To a rational mind, it'll tell you, hey, for my wife, I should be able to stop getting high. For the sake of my children and the relationship with my son and my daughter, I should be able to stop getting high. For the sake of risking my life for my freedom or my job, I should be able to stop getting high. And you see with millions and millions of people in this country alone, every single year, it's not enough.
Yeah.
And so what does that lead you to believe? Man, there's got to be something greater than myself. I have to put my hope, my faith, and my trust in something greater than myself, because we are in a spiritual battle. And if you try and fight it with your own understanding and with your own knowledge and with your own wisdom and with your own strength, you'll keep running into problems after problems, and you'll do what he did, like he's saying. I'm choosing my addictions over you. And that you could be a plethora of things that you genuinely love more than the addiction, but the addiction is too strong and powerful to overcome in and of yourself.
Yeah.
There's a heaven in this hell that I'm chasing, like a coyote laying lonesome at the moon. There's a truth in all that pain I ain't facing. Guess that's why I do the things I do. I'm choosing my addictions over you.
There's a heaven and there's hell. All right. I'm trying to think what he sounds like. He's got a unique sound, but it's also a familiar sound. I think it's smooth, like I said, but who would you compare him to?
I don't know. Where's he from? Maybe that'll help.
If you say Houston, Texas.
No. I wasn't saying it for that. I'm saying like he's got a certain distinct sound.
Yeah.
But like it's probably from a specific state that would be like, oh, he sounds.
I'm going to
like
say
so-and-so.
Hershey, Pennsylvania is my guess.
Okay, because it didn't just come up on the screen or anything. Hershey, Pennsylvania would not have been in my top 30 guesses of where he's
Well, he just
from.
had that sound.
That
you
Hershey,
know?
Pennsylvania sound?
Yeah, I mean, when you kind of go
Yeah.
country with it.
Yeah.
Oh, he's only 22 years old?
No, but that was super relatable when he said that, like, sun comes up, I come down. Like, man,
Yeah.
if you've ever struggled with addiction in your life,
Yeah.
oh, that is brutal, man. When you've been up all night, man, just twacked out of your mind on whatever substance that you're on, and that sun comes up, and then you know you got to go to work or face your family or go interact with people at your job or oh, it is the most miserable feeling in the world.
Yeah.
It's like, here we go again. Here we go again. It is terrible. For those of you who don't know, if you're just tuning in because we're doing a song or video reaction, Adam and I work at a Christ-centered addiction recovery facility near Nashville, Tennessee. We both went through addiction for a decade plus, and we found freedom in Jesus Christ. And so we talk about these things from experience.
Yeah.
We work with men all the time, every single day of our lives, who are currently struggling with addiction. And we see the depths of despair and hopelessness that it can bring upon a man. But we also know the hope that is found in Christ. And so when we comment on these songs, man, we're talking to you from experience. We know what it's like to be in the pits of hell,
Yeah.
struggling with addictions of all types of substances.
Yeah, and I think so. We're not on some kind of high horse. We both have multiple failed attempts at getting this thing right of addiction. We both have had multiple relapses. We both have tried secular things, and then we heard the truth. And this is kind of the theme, and it's almost a full circle moment as you're talking about the sun comes up and I go down. It's when that light, when things are illuminated, even physically, you go back to him talking about not wanting to deal with the truth. And so, man, you could probably relate, as he said, and even like we're talking spiritually, metaphorically, evil, goodness, light, darkness, that kind of thing, but even it manifests, I think, into the physical world because, as you mentioned earlier, we don't battle against flesh and blood and all those things. We battle against principalities and spiritual, cosmic things. But that does but that does push through into the physical world, man. Like when it's sunlight, when it's daytime, when people are out, when people are fellowshipping, when people are working, when people are coming together, man, addiction, man, you don't want to be in that light. Literally, you don't. You want to be in the bed. You want to be hiding. You want to be
isolating,
coming up with your next plan to get whatever, and it's not So I mean, it's almost a full circle.
Yeah.
The sun comes up and I go down, and it come crashing down. I think he said, like a coyote.
Like a coyote laying lonesome at the moon. There's a truth in all that pain I ain't facing. Guess that's why I do the things I do. I'm choosing my addictions over you.
Big W hit that note.
There's a heaven in this hell that I'm chasing, like a coyote hailing lonesome at the moon. There's a truth in all that pain I ain't facing. Guess that's why I do the things I do.
I think we'll stop right there. But yeah, man, there's a heaven in this hell that I'm chasing. He keeps going back to that.
Yeah,
and it's like this facade that, man, sin is enticing. Sin is enjoyable for a season, for a moment, you know? And there's this saying that sin takes you further than you want to go, keeps you longer than you're willing to stay, and costs you more than you're willing to pay.
Yeah.
And, man, that party life, drinking, smoking, doing drugs, getting high, it is temporarily satisfying in a secular sense, right? There's a way in which God can fill you up that nothing in this world can. But I'm just saying, in a secular sense, man, that stuff is enticing. The party life, the getting high, the running and gunning. There is a sense of fulfillment or satisfaction or some temporary gratification that comes from that. Now, at the end of that is death, is misery, is depression, is anxiety, is a possible, death or separation from your wife or losing everything you have, risking your freedom. Obviously, the end of it is terrible.
Yeah.
But in the midst of it, there is pleasure. There is a form of pleasure in that, and I think that could be something you take out of what he's saying. Is like, man, there is sort of this heaven, right? I'm not going to compare it to actual heaven in the presence of God, but there is this heaven sense of feeling whenever you are engaging in these things temporarily, even though the end is absolute misery.
Yeah, and what's the line right after that? I'm like a coyote
Howling at
the moon.
Howling lonesome at the moon.
Yeah, so it's like, that's interesting. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's kind of a deep, when I first heard that line, that's a good line. That's a good lyric. That's some good lyrics. Like a coyote howling lonesome at the moon.
Yeah.
All right, and I think, is there a little bit left? Well, let's hear it out. At least the last little.
Hands over you.
Yeah, that's a good vibe, man. That's a cool. He's got a smooth, some vocals that are nice. I like the way he sounds. I like the album seems like it's going to be a good album. I like based on the guitar riff, the steel guitar, kind of twang to it. It had a chill vibe. I thought that was a cool song.
Yeah. I don't know how you found that, but that was pretty good. I felt like it was.
Do you know him or something? Because y'all know that Carlos is in the biz. He's in the biz, with one comment, as you saw.
The big biz.
But
baby.
you don't know him? Yeah, that was a good find. That was cool.
Addictions by Warren.
Big Dubs.
Zeders.
Ziders?
We already forgot. Cut this part and then
come back in with this
real
part.
name is.
Warren Zeders.
Warren Ziders.
Whichever one, cut the other. So awesome. Hey, so that's it, man. Go check him out. His album dropped today. Tag us, Life After Addiction. Let him know we did this. Maybe we get him on the pod. I think he probably lives in Nashville if he's doing country music. Obviously, it sounds like he has an addiction story. I pray that he knows the Lord. Maybe he comes on the pod.
Shout out to Hershey, Pennsylvania, dude.
Hershey P. Get your hoodies. Get your the workbook. Can you point to that workbook back there? Get your hat. We didn't talk about that. Your seasoning, your stickers, man. We haven't talked about the stickers in a minute.
Dude.
I love the stickers on the back of my truck and my Stanley here. So that's all I got.
That's all I got.
Let's go. Life After Addiction. You better believe it.
Come on.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Life After Addiction. Life After Addiction is a production of S2L Studio. For more Christ-centered addiction recovery resources, please visit s2l.net. That's S2L.net. For more information about S2L's licensed and accredited residential program, please visit s2lrecovery.org. That's S, the number 2, L, recovery.org.